no notes or anything. We have to blag it. Okay. Yo, it's your boy, Seafoam Soldier. I just remember my YouTube name then. We're here to talk about episode, I want to say 8.
It was 8.
Yeah.
Great. Love that for
Is
us.
it already 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was thinking. I thought it was like 6 or 7. So, yeah, do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Is it the same order for all of us? It's Horatio next, right?
Yeah.
Go on, go for it. Introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, it's Horatio here.
Cool.
Hello, I'm your top tutor of the week. I'm Luke.
Yes.
I am Nina and Quarantina, also known as Floppy Bob.
And I was really trying to think of a good pun with quarantine and Dan, and I can't get one, so fuck it. Hi.
Oh no, that's so sad.
I
Dan,
know,
can you try again?
I love
Dan,
it.
try one more time.
Dan.
Can't think of one.
Dan. Can we just give it? I can't love that for you. Can we just all be silent and give Dan 1 minute to think of one?
This is not November 11th.
Because there's an AM
Thinking
in
of yourself.
quarantine, but quadantine doesn't work.
I like that. Actually,
I'm into it.
come on, I'm Nina and Quarantina. Like, I'm not really like this is not a great name.
You still quarantine it early on. It's stuck now. So
I like his and not N as well.
Oh yeah, shit. How did I miss that?
I know. His guy doesn't ruins the whole joke, but I'm still here for it, to be honest. I stay at home, Dan. That's suited kids. Starters is in the chat, by the way. Sorry, let me introduce the starters as well in the chat. If Ralph doesn't jump on, you can jump on here, Yaz, but I know you don't want to be on camera anyway because of your appearance, which we all understand. Isolate Dan. Keep your distance. That's the best one. Keep your distance is the best
really
one.
It's got to be something good.
Keep it down.
I like that.
Social distancing.
Social distancing, yes. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Social
Love that.
dance.
That's some great workshopping, guys. Really well. I'm really
Yeah.
The team
You got there in the
effort.
end.
Let's just do this for an hour. This is much more fun.
Oh, is that Ralph? Hold up. I think Ralph could be here. Oh no, Ralph's just joining. Okay, we've got one more just before we started.
There he
And
is.
we've got
Hi,
Ralph.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, Ralph.
For some reason it
Hey.
wouldn't work on my iPad, so I had to move over to my phone.
That's okay.
It's all right.
It'll be okay. So you can just I had to read this one. So you can just said Dan to come near me. That's also very good.
Oh. Sorry, Sue.
I like that one a lot. Okay, so as has been the case with this whole season, I've written no notes. I don't remember what happened. I was eating dinner, I was doing work, but I also was watching the episode. So I made your guys help to get through this. But I'm feeling confident about my views, and that's the main thing. Oh wait, we're gonna do the format where I mute everyone, have ultimate control.
What?
We're gonna have the format where I mute everyone, have ultimate control. I felt like we all loved that for me.
It was easier. Otherwise,
It was,
Yeah,
right?
it makes sense.
Right,
I just don't like
everyone.
giving you any power.
Bob, that's enough now. You've had your moment in the sun. Leave muting everyone. Okay, so the thing is, I feel like someone else should lead me. As I said, I don't remember exactly what happened in what order. But first of all, the mini challenge, right? Like the shade, the shade box thing. Yeah, like okay. Wait, you guys go through your thoughts first. So Horatio.
I feel like we could talk about the drama with Jan and all of that as well. I don't know.
Sorry, yeah, good shout. Let's go for that. You can lead that.
Well, yeah, not much to say. I mean, some people. I think the editing was sort of misleading last week, or maybe they just left that bit out because in the promo for this episode, you could see her saying, "I've never cried for not winning a challenge," and then we never saw this today. So I'm wondering if they edited that bit out in the end. I think she was crying more for herself than she was crying for Britta. But I sympathize with her because I think she was robbed last week. Next.
So I just want to say that I feel like obviously if anyone's saying anything, wave as well. Like Lucas thinks, sorry, look, I'll go to you in 1 second. But come on, robbed is harsh. Like you may think she did a bit better than who won last week. Gigi, was that the week before? Wait, Luke. Who won?
It was Gigi, but I think Gigi won the week before as well. But Gigi won for her blonde Madonna in the black, very slim, and she did that sort of skip across the stage. I don't think Jan was robbed. I think Jan sang very well, but again, I think her performance, as I've been saying via WhatsApp, I think her performance last week was all at 110. The whole time. There was no sort of light and shade, whereas Gigi gave us some static moments, and then she gave us some energetic moments, and then she gave us some fantastic look. I know I'm all for Gigi winning last week, and I think definitely Jan's attitude in, like, I can see why she was disappointed. I absolutely think that she was more disappointed about losing than about Britta going home, but I could see that did affect her as well. But I think on top of all of everything else, I think that's where that emotion came from.
Cool. Sorry, should I mute myself first? So I agree, but that's kind of the thing, though, right? Like, I don't feel like there's like a massive gap between like the people who did the best. Like, you could prefer Jan's performance. Sistaitis is saying Jan was robbed as well, but again, like robbed is definitely too extreme. Like, they were close enough where it could have been an either or kind of situation. But yeah, the whole episode, I kind of the whole season, but mainly this episode, I don't think I could handle being around Jan. Like, she's way too much. I think I'd probably just kill myself after 2 minutes just to escape, to be fair. Ralph, what do you think about it? Anyway, wait, has anyone got anything else to add about the drama? Cool, fair. So mini challenge then. So Dan, do you want to start with the mini challenge?
Yeah, like a couple of things. Like, one, if that's the new library, then I'm not fucking having it. Like, we watch Drag Race for the same old shit. I don't come and watch Drag Race so I can get new ideas and new concepts. I want to see fucking regularity, especially at a time right now where I need every bit of stability that I can get. And also, like, it was weird having the the product placement back. I'm like, is it season 2? And it was so blatant and just a bit odd, but I thought they were quite funny. Like, the actual things they were saying were quite quick, and like it was quite a sharp sketch. But I want the fucking library. It's like Snatch Game love match thing. No, just give us Snatch Game. Don't mess about.
Sorry, yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. Although I think they will give the library. I think they probably want to break up with 2 reading challenges. So I was thinking like one now and one in a few episodes' time, maybe. I'm not sure. Or maybe there's a deal potentially with this brand where they had to give them like the best mini challenge. Maybe that's the only other reason I could think of why they would do that new format. So like floppy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do product placement, I guess that's not the worst way to do it. I mean, I still I know that they have to do product placement. I just find it a bit boring. I find product placement quite boring personally, because you can't really go for the jugular with it. Like, you can't be like, what's this piece of shit? Like, you have to be really respectful of the product whilst like dissing people. So you have to be like, oh, your face is dry, so you need this really good moisturizing product. Which is kind of there's a bit of a like disjunct there for me sometimes, because you can't really go kind of balls to the wall. Which is, as we all know, is my preferred method. But I think what's really, I don't know what that means. But I think it's, I think hopefully they won't really have I don't know, hopefully there will be, like Dan was saying, there'll be some kind of reading challenge. I'm guessing they'll probably recycle like the puppet challenge as a way of still having a kind of reading thing in there. That's kind of still consistent while still having that. I don't know, but it was a bit weird. But I mean, it was okay. I think they did well in it as well, so that it was entertaining at least.
For me, I feel like there wasn't anything original with it, really, which is kind of what I'm saying for a few episodes, and I feel kind of bad saying it, but there wasn't like any exciting reads we haven't really heard before. It was all kind of like what you'd expect them to be doing, and it was okay. For me, it was like entertaining, but it wasn't like a Roxy Bus moment, Ralph.
I'm just going to echo what everyone else has said. I want the library. If this is the replacement, I'm going to fucking hate it.
Wait. Oh, sorry. Bob, do you want to speak? Okay, go on. I'll let you just this once, as it's your birthday.
Well, not yet, but thank you. I just love how like wonderfully angry we are about the lack of the reading challenge. It's like they've already taken pride away from us this year. Like, they're not going to take the reading challenge. It's just like, and also I just wanted to quickly say, like, I really love the fact that in like quick drag, Jada was still like stunning, and like everyone else looked a bit busted. Apart from Jackie looked really good, but like Jackie and Jada just like looking stunning, while like Krista was just like a hot mess. Like, I love it. It's great.
Oh, hi. No, I was just wanted to say, I mean, I don't think the reading challenge is gonna go, and I'm just glad there was a mini challenge because we haven't had a mini challenge for 4 episodes. So great, there was a mini challenge, so I was happy.
Yeah, cool. Oh, sorry about that. I say my personal review is that it's serviceable as a mini challenge, all right? Like it's not one for the ages, but it was a mini challenge. It was fun for what it was. So wait, what happened next then? Who knows what happened next? Put your hand up. Okay, go on.
So I actually haven't commented on the mini challenge yet. I've been completely left out, and so I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming my time. So I didn't actually get that it was a replacement for the reading challenge at all. Like I can see why everyone else thought that, but I didn't kind of take it at that. So I'm hoping that we still get a reading challenge as well. There was. I feel like this was a little bit more like, you know, that sketch where Vanjie thanked herself and it was the preacher maxi challenge, and it was on season, not Vanjie's first season but the other one. I'm trying to think who else was in it, but you know what I'm talking about, where they kind of had to bounce back between like the hosts and then this group and then this group and whatever. So I kind of felt like it was like a mini challenge version of that. I liked that it was a mini challenge again, as Horacio said, we haven't had one for a while. I thought it was kind of funny that I know Rue owns the show, but she's like, I'm going to choose who gets paired up. And I'm like, surely you make that kind of shady in some way. I also thought, yeah, I agree with what was said about the looks and the quick drag. I think it was interesting that Jackie and Gigi won the mini challenge, but Jackie absolutely carried Gigi with that. And Jackie did a great job. And she was all like, she not only came up with the jokes, but she batted back the jokes when they were thrown her way. I thought, yes, this is why I'm a Jackie Cox fan. Thank you for showing it to me again, Jackie, because you've been missing in action for a while. And thank you to Bob for agreeing with absolutely everything that I say. I'm done.
Fair. Sorry about that, Luke, by the way, as well. So wait, so what happened after the mini challenge? Any like workroom drama? Because it was a commercial,
challenge?
right? Sorry, come. Horatio?
I guess the Max's challenge, just the walkthrough, and then the shooting.
Anything to say from the walkthrough, Luke? Also, but sorry, I just realised for Horatio, you can unmute yourselves. Like, totally happy for you guys to unmute yourselves. Makes my life a little bit easier if you're up for it. Or should I do it? I'll unmute you.
Oh, I see where I do it now, just on the audio. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to do it. Can I just say that Bob Harper was a shitty guest? Like, he didn't add, I don't think he added, I'm kind of going past the walkthrough a little bit. He didn't really add much in the walkthrough either. But then he was a terrible director. Like, he would sometimes just kind of say, literally would say, you need to give me something different. Like, well, what? Like, tell me, your job is to tell me what different you need to see. Like, don't just say, no, that's bad. I don't know, like he yeah, boring. And also the whole look was wrong. Like, I don't know what was with the boots. I would normally go for heeled boots on a man. Obviously, you know me, but they just sort of didn't go with anything. He has very heavily tattooed arms and then a very messily patterned shirt that was kind of too big for him, but not in an oversized, obvious way. So, like, dude, check yourself.
Okay, this time I agree with everything you said, Luke. To be fair, I agree with you normally as well, but like that 100%. His shoes like weird. Rob was saying like weird, like camel shoes. Like it's like he had camel toe of the shoe. Like there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, agree. I don't know if I've got anything more to add to that. I thought some of the like directorial moments were quite funny. Like Crystal, a hot mess, trying to get everything done, and no one else getting it, but obviously it working. Yeah, I thought it was funny when he asked Gigi to give more on the goodnight bitch, and she did exactly the same thing again. Yeah, I thought there were lots of quite fun moments there, and even Heidi in Closet. She was much funnier off cam than she was on cam, and then he actually did give her some positive critique for that, and she brought it, and she, oh my goodness, the crying into the thing, like, and then throwing the tantrum on the floor, which didn't make the final cut, but she's hilarious. She could do no wrong. I love her. I'm out.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I have something I was going to say. I've literally completely forgotten it. So who wants to talk next about the filming? Anyone? Or we said we want to say about that? I had a good point I was going to make, but I totally forgot it. It's really frustrating. Because I want to say something that Sukin said earlier as well about Jada. Yeah, I still feel the same. Like I'm still not wowed by her, but I do think she's getting better. I agree with you. Yeah, I've got a lot to say about the actual commercials, but should we go through them one by one? Should we go through? What should we go through first? The runways or the commercials? I guess the commercials because they're straight. It ties more into the filming side we just talked about. Cool. Okay. And guys, give your thoughts on the commercials as we go through them one by one in the chat as well. So who was I've got who? Oh, Jackie Cox, right? That was the first one. So who wants to give their thoughts on Jackie Cox first? Go on, Dan.
Yeah, it was really good, and it was really winding me up in the challenge when that Bob guy kept being like, "What? I don't understand." When he kept saying like, "Now I'm going to do this, and then they'll edit in the product," and Bob was like, "What? I don't understand what you mean." And then it completely worked. It was completely exactly like tonally what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a campy 50s "I Dream of Jeannie" type thing. Like it was really good. So yeah, that Bob guy was just frankly a bit of a dick. And Jackie was great, which is good. I feel like Jackie was probably coasting a little bit, and she's kind of pinged back up again this week. And she lasted longer than Jam, which I was surprised about.
What annoyed me about that Bob guy is that like he obviously was a big fan of the show. Like, looking at Bob as I say this, like he was obviously a big fan of the show. You could tell, but he just like wasn't like nice or helpful or productive in any way. Like I agree. Yeah,
who is he?
Yeah, who is he?
So he was one of the personal trainers on The Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
What? So what's he doing on the show and B on this challenge?
Being critical, telling them what they're doing wrong. I guess that's all.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
right.
was not a fan.
Yeah. So Luke, do you want to go next with your thoughts on Jackie's?
Yeah, exactly what Dan said. I thought it was campy, it was fun, it worked. She had to she was the one that was drawing teeth from the director to say, okay, now if something needs to happen here, I'm asking for this to happen. I have to hold this frame because otherwise it's not going to work. Nothing's happening. Someone move. I thought that was a real shame.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, whoever wants to unmute themselves next to talk about the challenge, go for it. Wait, that's not good hosting. I should say.
Horatio, you go.
I knew this would happen. Sorry, I should have said who goes. Horatio, you go.
I just wanted to say that Jackie knew exactly what she was doing, and so did Crystal. Crystal looked like she didn't know what she was doing, but she knew exactly what she was doing. The only thing I wanted to say about Jackie's is that the guy was fanning her wrong. He was fanning her like, hold on, where's my hand? Like this. He should have fanned her like that, and I think that would have made the ad even better. That's it. Bye.
He was also about 1 kilometer away from her, like she'd made a bad smell, and he was trying to waft it in the opposite direction rather than.
He invented social distancing. He was just, yeah. No, I mean, in fairness, should I give my place to someone else who, because I'm basically just going to say exactly what Luke just said. But I did think it was really. I love Jackie anyway, and but I thought this was a really strong week for her. It's actually in the UK one. Do you know when Davina had the whole thing where everyone was like, "What the fuck is she doing?" and she was scrambling around, but she had a really clear sense of okay, here's what's going to be in the first shot. Right now, I'm going to shoot something that's going to be at the end. Next, I'm going to, she had all of the parts in mind and was just sort of reformatting them. And I think what was really weird is, I don't get how that guy didn't understand it. She was literally really dressed as a character. And I think even if we as an audience hadn't had her talking about her influences, I think the influence was quite clear in just the way she was doing the ad, that it was a very 50s kind of inspired thing. That reference I thought was quite simple compared to
on that note, I just want to make a point that her brand is so good, Jackie Cox's, because everything is to do with the 60s. I wonder why she's so knowledgeable about the 60s. I mean, she might be our age, more or less, so she wasn't around in the 60s, but she knows a lot about it. Not just shows, but fashion, and her brand is all very 60s, so she has the kind of the whole package. To me, she just doesn't look very good all the time, and that's maybe just a personal thing. I wish she doesn't dazzle me with her looks in a way that all the drag queens do. And I don't know if that's because she has a very square jaw, like very manly. I don't know. She doesn't sell me woman all the time, but I think her brand is very important, and she has the whole package to win the show. Actually, if Gigi wasn't so ahead, I think. But yeah, definitely a contender, and she's very like she knows what she's doing. She's very focused. She has it all going for her.
Yeah. So I think we should talk about. Sorry, if anyone sees my phone's over there, it's too far away to kind of get it. If anyone sees if Ralph's message about if he wants to rejoin or anything, let me know. But I don't see him adding himself back again. If not, Sis, you can jump in. You fancy it? What am I saying? So I feel like it'd be best to talk about runway like after each contestant's won. So we talk about Jackie's runway now. So I'll give my thoughts on that first. So like it's kind of my thoughts for the runway overall. It's kind of one of the things I don't like the most with runway themes is when contestants just follow it to a T and it's just super boring. It's like Jackie's runway was fine. It wasn't if she stuck to the theme 100%, but she did that and it wasn't an amazing dress or an amazing look. So it's like 2 points against it for that, really. One, sticking to the theme, and two, like not even doing it amazingly well. That's my personal view. And it's fine. It was fine. It's like a 5 out of 10 from me. Dan, do you want to go next?
So just Jackie's runway, or are we doing all of them? Yeah, it was a bit of a dull start. I kind of when that started, I was like, oh, this theme is going to be shit. And actually, I thought it generally was a bit dull. Like there wasn't a lot you could do with it. Like it was like a lot of black, light lacy dresses. But that's why I love Crystals. And I know I'm jumping ahead, but like Crystals was completely different. I thought Jackie's was just pretty pedestrian.
So no, I saw you say that when we were chatting. Sorry, look, I'll go to you one sec. I saw you say that when we were chatting, but I totally disagree. I think Black Wedding, there's so much you can do with that. I mean, especially like horror. You're like a horror queen. You know what we're talking about. Like, there's so many horror references you can do. Just like chuck up any like horror reference from any film, like any sort of like undead thing. Like, there's so many cool things you could do with it. Or like do the opposite. Do like I don't know, like something colorful, like a black dress with like some neon stripe. I don't know. It's like do a twist on it. Don't just do like a black gown. I hate that for you. Luke, go.
So I can see what everyone's saying about it being a relatively pedestrian look. I mean, I think it was, if you saw that in a nightclub, you go, wow, amazing. But obviously on that stage, you kind of want something even bigger. But she sold it so well. She gave me story. She gave me narrative. She gave me beginning, middle, and end. And I'm kind of thinking it wasn't quite as outlandish a performance, but it was a runway performance where the story was actually what she was selling more than the look. Kind of like Brooklyn Heights did that, when she did the horrible Snatch Game. And then she came out and there was the big reveal and she was doing all the splits and the cartwheels and things. The look was fine. The reveal was fun, but it was the performance that was really the runway. And for me, for Jackie Cox, not as big, certainly, but the look worked because it fit the performance so well for me.
Okay, so I should quickly say that, yeah, I agree. The performance was good on runway, but it was just, again, like super expected. Like that was what you assumed she was doing. If she hadn't done a performance and just walked down a runway, that's what you would have assumed anyway. Like, I think kind of what Kurt's saying in the comments as well. Like, it's difficult to do like a black wedding because it's just going to feel more like a funeral automatically than a wedding. It's just, I don't know, like, I don't agree that the theme was bad, but I think you have to handle it in the right way, and it can be a bit murky if you don't. It's kind of my thoughts on it. Horatio?
I feel like it was a bit on brand though. Like that is kind of, yes, it's a bit what you would expect her to do, but like we expect Vanjie to be Vanjie, we expect Alaska to be Alaska. So like of course she's going to be Jackie Cox.
Sorry, not on brand for her. I meant like on brand for the runway. So like black wedding, you're expecting like a wedding funeral thing, right? Like you expect like a wedding term funeral. That's a go-to thing. Like I'm saying, you'd assume that without her even having to do the voiceover telling you what it is. For most of the queens, that's kind of what you assume. That's what I meant. I don't mean. I guess you would expect her to be just like a campy, like kind of theatery like queens. I guess you would expect her to go with a theme, but I think she's an intelligent queen.
Kind of 50s, 60s feel as well. Like not explicitly, but I don't know. That would fit in a 50s or 60s drama somehow.
Yeah, I agree. I just think she could do more. I think she's got the intelligence, like take it that extra level higher. Personally, so Horatio, go.
About what?
Jackie's runway. You're not talking about Jackie's runway, have you? Or have you already? Have I forgotten?
No, but we are being on Jackie for the last 20 minutes. Can we move on?
I'm so sorry. Do you want me to kick you out of
Jackie
the screen?
runway, very pedestrian. Didn't like it. Next.
So can I quickly jump in? Not like I think everything's really been said about Jackie's, but like I think just sort of generally as a runway theme, like I think like Grant was saying, I think there are interesting places you can take it, but I think for me it's like I don't know. For me, what was kind of quite striking is when you saw all 8 queens or however many there were kind of all on stage together at the same time, it was a bit like there is a kind of a muchness going on. Obviously, everyone's kind of done variations on the theme, and that's kind of the point of a theme, that you've kind of got comparisons and similarities. But I think especially like you've got some themes that are so broad that, you know, like even like the sports one where people can go down quite similar, like go down like different. Thank you, Grant. Is that aimed at me? Oh, okay. But like there is similar, you know, like the sport one, you've got variations on a theme that can like be quite broad, whereas like Black Wedding, for the most part, you are going to get 8 wedding dresses, but just with sort of different stories around them. Not necessarily a problem, but also in sort of general drag race things that, you know, like in season 9 where they had the white wedding, like they were like, okay, here are some nice dresses. Here's one that's a little bit better done. I don't know. I kind of want them to really be a little bit more creative. Crystal like was the pinnacle of that, I think, of just being able to be like, right, here's like properly like going full on with the theme. But like I think for a few of them, I'm like, it is a nice black dress. What have they changed? Oh, their makeup's a bit different. It was a bit like, also, I don't know. I know they don't always have to go together, but I'm always really confused when like the main challenge and like the runway are really like so different. When you've got like, do your commercial Black Wedding. You're like, okay, sure, Jan. You know, I don't really get it, but yeah.
I mean, to be fair, after some of their commercials, also appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to die after most of them.
Exactly. So, sorry, we've all given our themes on Jackie now, right? Our themes, our opinions. Cool, terrific. Loved that we did that. Very special moment for us all there. Who is next? Does anyone remember? If anyone remembers who's next, they can go and start something off.
Was it Jan? Was Jan next? I think Jan was next. Yeah. So we're going her ad first, right? And then look, right? Yeah. So ad. I said it before. 110 the whole time. She was even given the direction: you have to breathe, you have to bring it down a bit. And I think the thing for me for the whole season for Jan has been that like she is so confident, which is great, and so capable, which is also great, but she only ever gives you everything at the biggest. And I certainly take what Grant said earlier about it being like it must be exhausting to be in the room with her, and you want to bring her down a bit so that when she really shines, it's welcomed rather than stop, it's too much. So I don't know, it was too busy again, like all of her runways and all of her the different things she tries to do. She's kind of trying to be everything to everyone, I think, all the time, and I think that really showed in her ad as well. And then in her look, yeah, kind of fine, but again, fairly pedestrian. I think even some of the others that we'll come to, even though they did just the brief of okay, Black Wedding, still did something interesting and different. And maybe with a simpler theme like that, you can kind of like some of them made it sort of like a fashion challenge, which was a great use of the opportunity. But I feel like Jan's was just a bit like she said it was all the shimmer on top of everything. I don't know, again, maybe it was just a bit too much. Edit. I'm done.
Yeah, no, look, I totally agree with everything you're saying. But I was going to say, like, jumping off the back of what you just said as well, I've mentioned this previously, but like it's made me realise maybe why she does it. But her boy brows have always frustrated me. She paints them like higher up, and she looks kind of surprised. It's like even her boy brows are like putting all this like extreme energy forward, right? Like she's always just like alert, like you know? Yeah, exactly. It's like even like your brows need to calm down, you know? I think she could be cool. Like I think if she did like calm it a little bit, I think she seems like a cool person. She's just too much. And yeah, I agree with what you're saying about like the ad and the look as well. Like I have the same thoughts on her look as I do Jackie's. Dan?
It was funny because I Jan's always really reminded me of Cheryl Hole, like a lot. Like she gives a lot of Cheryl Hole energy, and then her like ad was really similar to Cheryl Hole's from last season because that had like a club in sequence and like really like no messaging, and it was really high energy the whole way through. So that was kind of weird. But I like Jan. I'm kind of sad that she went. I'm going to do runway as well because I want to speed this along. But it was okay. It was fine. It was another black dress with some like bits on it. So yeah.
Cool. Oh. Sorry. Bob, I tried to unmute you, but I couldn't because you muted yourself. So you have to unmute yourself. Sorry.
Only I have the power to mute myself, Grant. Also, sorry, just quickly, like I had Kurt's right in the comments. Actually, I in my mind remember that as a wedding challenge from season 9, but it was a white party one. It's just that a couple of the looks were kind of weddingy, and I just remember Valentina. So in my mind, it's a wedding challenge. Anyway, I thought Jan was really beautiful. Actually, I thought her makeup was really nice. I loved the little smoking bouquet. I mean, again, it's Jan sort of doing the most. It is a bit like actually calm down, like Luke was saying, like edit on both the commercial and just generally. Okay. At this point, my talking head is literally just a Luke fan account, but I'm okay with that. But I thought she was really pretty.
I'm okay with that too.
There we go. Yeah, I thought she was. But yeah, in the challenge and the advert, you are like, come on, like just dial it down. Like again, like the levels, we need them, but also just like Jan is selling like I'm pure energy, I'm pure this, and it's just like that's like okay, but it then needs to be backed up with something quite like a fun twist on that. It can't be like Alyssa's go-go juice all over again. You know, it's like there needs to be a kind of twist on it.
Oh, sorry, Horatio, I can't mute you because you muted yourself. Horatio, go.
Right. So on Jan, just a couple of things. I agree with Bob. I didn't think it was just another black dress. I thought it was a very good black dress and a much. Yeah, I liked the feathers and it was giving me Black Swan kind of vibes. So I really liked it. But the thing about Jan is that I get the critiques about being too much all the time and all of that. And she is that, but it's also the fact that unlike Jackie Cox, there's not a good brand in there. Like I don't really know what Jan stands for at the end of 9 episodes or 8, whatever. And because she wants to do good at every single runway and in every single, we don't really know what she stands for. So I remember this I think it was the bows and buttons look, and she looked like this giant mouse, which was very cartoony. And it's like, okay, it's a good look, but is that what you go for? Because you also go for sporty and you also go for singer, and it's like we get lost in all these things that you're trying to sell us because you are trying to tick all the boxes so well. That said, I think that Jan, it wasn't her time to go at all. I think her video wasn't that funny, but it wasn't it didn't belong in the bottom 2, and we'll get back to this, but I think Gigi's should have been in the bottom 2. So I've got mixed feelings with Jan. I don't think she should have left. I think probably it would have been Widow's time to left, because if you think about it, at least Jan has been more in the top, or well, she was in the top last week, and Widow has been coasting and coasting and coasting. So for me, the bottom 2 should have been Widow and Gigi, and therefore Widow leaving. Bye.
But Widow has won a challenge, right?
Yes, but
Jan hasn't, so.
No, Jan hasn't, but Jan should have won last week. Bye.
I agree with Gigi winning last week, so I don't agree with that premise.
It's a very civil response. Oh, sorry, go on.
And I was just going to say, I feel like in many ways Jan's being set up for like a kind of an All-Stars thing. Not like, because she's kind of classic All-Stars redemption, like was really in my head on my season. Now I've refined who I am. I'm going to slay it. Like, I feel like that's like, I see that for her, you know, I feel like that's very much what's happening there.
Okay, I mean, fair dues. I just want to add as well, like, I thought the bouquet thing was lame. Like, it's a cool idea, but it didn't really translate well. I think it's very, like, Ginger Minge's light-up dress, which is just like, oh, great. Like, I can see what you're trying to do there, but it's not really, it didn't have, like, a big grand effect. It was kind of like, is that smoke right? Like, it looked really hard, and I don't know. I thought it was lame, and come.
I just add, like, you're all talking about the smoking bouquet. I had no idea. Like, I didn't see it at all. I was like, oh, was it? I didn't know.
In fairness, exactly. It was more like, do you know, there's like little air fresheners in the corner that like every like 15 minutes kind of go, pff. it was kind of like that, where it was just like, oh, there's a bit of smoke, and then it's like, and then obviously because of where she stood on stage, it's only like if the bouquet was like, if the camera's here and like her black dress is behind it to kind of really frame it. Like there are a couple of times where I think it kind of, the smoke sort of was going off, but she was like, it was the backlights, so you kind of, the smoke kind of got lost.
What I also liked about Jan's dress was the I don't at the back, which was quite kind of cool.
Yeah, it was fine. Who's next? Is it Gigi next?
That was fun, but then she needed to act up to that or something. Like she needed to be some sort of I don't know, too cool for school girl who's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Like that needed to come through the whole time. I think when it came around, it's like, oh, now we're being campy fun as well. I thought we were just being glam. You know, it was too much of everything. Levels.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Is it Gigi next? Okay, cool. Bob, do you want to go first with that?
Sure. Yeah, I was a bit underwhelmed by it. I thought in many ways it had like quite a bit of potential. Like I liked her starting off with like this character who's sort of so like, I'm just better than you. But I think it didn't go anywhere with that. Like I think, you know, like it's kind of like the product didn't necessarily then for me work along the idea of being better than someone. It was kind of just like, I think we were talking about it in our chat, like Jada kind of sold that a bit better with like a bit of self-deprecation and then a bit of I'm that bitch. Whereas I think Gigi's was like, oh, I'm so above you, but then kind of was like, oh, I'm still so above you. Here's a spray. Okay, bye. It was just a bit flat. Like it needs to be good. Like if you're gonna have I'm like so above you, you need to be like that bitch for the entire advert and like be so good and so funny that everyone's like, yeah, you are. You know, it was okay. It was okay from Gigi. Like, I think it did deserve to be in the bottom. I agree with Horatio. I think bottom 3 at least for me.
Sorry, Dan. Also, you mute yourself afterwards. Again, you can unmute yourself.
That's right. Like I didn't think it was that bad. I think sometimes Drag Race does this where it signposts whether you're supposed to like something or not. And I feel like Rue could have laughed all over that, and we'd have been none the wiser. And it's like sometimes they put like the rattlesnake noise on top, and you're like, oh, I didn't think that was shady, or I didn't think that was bad. Like it was fine, it was serviceable. It like wasn't like Gigi level of what she's done before, but like I just think if like Rue was laughing his ass off on the bottom of it, we would have probably all just gone, oh yeah, that was all right. Like it felt a bit mean. They were completely silent. They didn't do any reaction to it at all, and it wasn't that bad. But then I like Gigi a lot. She's like my favorite, so I'm biased. But her runway was amazing.
Yeah, Dan, I was thinking that as well about the challenge. I do think a lot of it was editing, but I also think that a lot of the queens, again, originality people, like she just did Katya's Crisis Control, but kind of like remixed it a little bit, right? Like we all kind of did like similar things that had been done previously that were like really funny and innovative at the time, but then kind of like repurposed it. It was just kind of what we've seen before, you know? Like even the ending thing, which like fell asleep on the floor, it's like isn't that exactly how Katya's ended? For Katya's was on like from a fit or whatever, and it was funnier, you know. And again, like, I love Gigi. I think Gigi's great. I think her commercial was good, but I just was hoping it's like to see new things when I watch the show. Am I being too harsh? I'm sorry, I'm grumpy. Horatio, take over.
No, like I said before, I think it to me wasn't funny. I hear what Dan is saying, and I try always to try and see beyond the rattlesnakes and the laughters and all that, but it really didn't work for me. I wanted to like it. I wanted to, because she started really well saying I'm better than you. I think she should have gone, I'm not Gigi good, I'm just not Gigi good, I'm just Gigi better than you, or something like that. I don't know, it's something a bit more funny than what she did, and it just didn't work for me. And I think she's getting so much slack cut. And actually also, if she had been in the bottom 2, how amazing would it have been to have her lip sync against Widow again, because Widow was of course bottom 8, but they lip synced against each other on the very first episode, and that would have been a great lip sync to see, because Gigi lost to Widow on that first one. So I just wanted I wanted that so bad to happen. Jan in the bottom 2, no, not for me. Sorry. And also I didn't say this before about Jan, but at least she made me laugh, and Gigi's didn't. Because Jan, at what point when she was all ugly with the glasses and all of that, Yeah, there was no levels, but she at least was being silly, and so I laughed, which I didn't with Gigi.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with what you said. Hi, Sukin, by the way. I'll go to you in a second, but first of all, Luke.
So I agree with elements of what's been said. I'm probably going to disagree with Dan though. Sorry, I think I got a little bit of the ooh ah sensation when she said, "I'm Gigi Good and I'm better than you." Like, oh great, this is like something's going to happen here. She's going to take me on a story, and perhaps to paraphrase a little bit of what I think Arathio was saying, maybe she could be Gigi Good, Gigi Better, Gigi Best, and how I got there was this spray. You can have it too. Like that's the story, rather than just I won all these challenges and all these mini challenges, and here's a spray to do something completely different, and then a little bit of funny acting, but only not very much. Like, I don't know, it was just a bit of a fail for me, a boot. But I absolutely give her look a shoot, because it's an amazing, beautiful black wedding dress. Also with, I don't know if you noticed, but I couldn't stop looking at it, but the soles of her stilettos were bright red that matched her lips. I'm like, yes, bitch, yes, work. And I think that maybe that's why she was not bottom 2, because the look was so good. And winning 3 of the major challenges, I mean, has to take you somewhere, right? So I'm not surprised Rue didn't put her in the bottom. But yeah, it was not a good week for Gigi, acting wise.
Cool. All right, Sukin, with all the balls, go.
Well, Gigi. I didn't like Gigi this week. I really hated Gigi this week. I know she got 2 free wins, but no. Like, the dress was nice, but it looked really basic schoolgirl. I wasn't happy with it. And she had the worst infomercial.
God, you've jumped on here fully. You've jumped on here for controversy straight
I've
away.
got notes.
You can help yourself.
I like Gigi good. I like Gigi, but I did not like her this week, and it made me more mad. She robbed Jan last week, and now she didn't even go on the bottom 2 where she was meant to be.
Oh my God, I did not expect this from you, Sukin.
I'm an angry Welshman today.
Wait a minute. Who invited her? Who does she think she is?
That t-shirt is incredible, by the way.
It came today,
I'm a
actually.
big fan of that t-shirt.
It's even got like dive balls and stuff in it. It's got literally all the balls. Full
It's got
respect to
them
that
all.
shirt.
I know that is like
really
that is a really like you kind of know your shit kind of Pokemon t-shirt. Like it's not like oh, here are some Pokeballs. It's like no. Here's like the whole like plethora. Here are like ones that you have to like forage for weird
Who uses Pokeballs
to
after
bring
gym
to some
too?
old man. Like I'm here for it.
Well, who uses Pokeballs after gym too?
Exactly. Thank you.
You only need Pokeballs after gym too if you're really fussy and you want to get Premier Balls.
Well, I mean, there we go. Like, we've been educated. You've brought us on a ride, and I'm very happy for that.
So, I'm glad I got in before G, because I was mad at Gigi this week.
Ooh.
The thing is, you're saying like you get a pass for having 3 challenge wins. To me, no, because you should be held higher. It should be easier for you to go in the bottom because you need to keep consistent. Because wasn't that what they said about Widow? She's coasting through now.
Yeah, I agree. I think I have held it to a high standard, to be honest. Should we move on to Jada? Cool. Dan, do you want to go? Oh, wait, Dan, you muted yourself. So you need to unmute yourself, Dan.
Yeah, Jada was good. Jada was really good this week. Like quite surprising, and like there was a lot of early promise with Jada, and then she's kind of coasted through. So it was quite nice to see her doing well. Like her runway look was really nice, and the infomercial was great. Like she has like proper personality, and I wasn't a big fan before, so it was good. It was quite nice to see like other people kind of stepping up in this episode and doing like interesting stuff.
Cool, Luke. Oh, sorry, I tried to unmute you.
So it's so interesting, isn't it? How Drag Race has sort of become a tale of 2 episodes. Like it's the runway is one thing, and the performance challenge is another thing. And it's interesting how it's gone that way. I don't have a critique on that necessarily. I think Jada's coasting on pretty in the runway. I think she always looks pretty. She always looks stunning, but it's always the same. Like I would expect her to come out in a glamorous gown looking glamorous. And she did, and it was good. It was well executed. But show me something else as well. Michelle used to give those sorts of critiques to queens when they would just do the same old stuff, like to Dusty Ray Bottom's dots, and even to Crystal's face on the first episode. Like, we don't see this face all the time. I don't know. Do the same thing for Jada. However, I think Jada, while she's maybe been coasting a little bit in some of the results, I think she does give us interesting and different sometimes. Maybe she's had a few negative edits, but I thought this week was great. Like, she started off with a "Hey, bitch," and instantly you know, okay, she's going to go there. And then she sells herself as the horrible actor from Grey's Anatomy, and you're like, yes, I'm absolutely with you, and I'm here for it, and I'm living for it. So that I think is really, really good, and it's nice to see that she's pushing the envelope in that. I just wish she could kind of do that in the appearance as well as in the acting.
Yeah, so did you talk about her dress as well, Luke?
So just that it's predictable and to be expected. I loved it. It was beautiful, but I've seen it in everything else she's done.
Yeah, fair. Sukin, do you want to jump in?
For Jada, I like Jada this week. She surprised me. I didn't expect her to be as good as she was. Like, especially when she kept doing on the chest. I didn't think she'd recover from that. Because it was like, hello, blah, 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 blah. But she bounced back, and then the actual Infamous show was really good. I thought it was proper tidy how she managed to turn that round. And she was really self-aware, meta. Is everyone laughing at my accent? I can't tell. I'm so self-conscious.
Proper tidy.
Firstly, loving the accent, and secondly, I completely agree. I think she takes direction really, really well, and I think she shows that every week.
Yeah, and that's where she's improving. Like, like some people, they spike early, then they drop, or they go well, and then she's like getting better and better. And I don't want to compare her to certain queens because there's a thing, but she is very much like Asia, where she doesn't do amazing, then she starts doing good, then she gets really good.
Yeah. On that note, I know that a different kind of queen would have crumbled under pressure for being in front of a camera again when she didn't do very well. I think she was bottom on the acting challenge, and that's why. And she just flipped it around, and she went, well, I was bad, but I'm gonna be better now. And that's what Drag Race is about. You take the criticism and you build upon it, and not let it get to you. So yeah, I think she's top 4 material, and it was a fun video to watch. It didn't have me in hysterics as Heidi's or Crystal's, but it was fun, and it was a very safe look, I think, in the runway.
Cool. That's how I thought. So Dan and Bob, right? Who am I missing?
I think Dan started.
Sorry, I'm doing a different order every time, which is making my life
You
very
really
difficult.
lost without your notebook, aren't you?
But no, I totally agree with what Horatio's just saying. I think like that was like finally Jada, like that, like she's that girl I always thought she was. Like this is what I was really hoping from Jada from like week 1 of I was like, come on, I know that like that's in there, and it's really good to see her like doing that. Like I agree with Horatio. It wasn't like laugh out loud, but it was like, no, that is solid. Like it's good, and you know that she's going to stick around. At least I hope so. I do think the dress was a bit, like it was pretty. It was well done. It was, I mean, it didn't necessarily like transform my life, but like I at least, and the shoulders, of course, the shoulders. Also, like, how dare she look so good out of drag during in quick drag in the mini challenge as well. But I also thought what really pleased me is obviously we're now having a lot of like video calls given the current crisis, and I felt like Jada's like accidentally turning off her mic was really relatable, and I really felt that. I was just like, she's a queen of the people, really related to all of us, so I appreciate that.
I was just fully attacked. So okay, this is what I don't get though. I don't get why everyone's going mental over Jada, like you guys just now. Like, yeah, she was good, but like I don't know, like she wasn't outstanding, and everyone kind of expected her from Meet the Queens to be like top every week kind of thing. And I'm still not seeing why everyone loves her so much. Like, she was good, she's getting better, which I'm enjoying seeing, and I'm excited to see what she brings to the table. Like I said, enjoyed her this episode, but yeah, like I still don't get like why everyone loves her so much personally.
Oh, I'm with you. Like, I don't think she surprised me this week because she hasn't been that amazing, and it was just nice to see someone different. But it wasn't like it's completely changed my opinion or make me think she's going to win. it was good. It was serviceable. It was fun.
Yeah, it's like you
Maybe-
justified your position as a Drag Race contestant. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, I think for me, I had low expectations to start with because I thought she would just rest on pretty, and so she's now starting to defy some of those. And so I'm like, oh, good, you're more than just a pretty dress.
Yeah.
And a
It's
pretty
to
face
me,
and a
it's
pretty
more
soul.
that she's kind of consistently good in a different way to Widows probably, and that she kind of ticks all the boxes without trying so hard like Jan. And also, I had low expectations of her, like Luke. I didn't like her to start with, but I can see her getting to places like Akiria last season. I didn't like Akiria to start with, and she was top 3 in the end.
Yeah, potentially. Hopefully, we'll see where she goes. Who is next? If anyone remembers, unmute yourself and go.
Sherry Pie?
Was it Sherry?
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk
Yeah.
about Sherry Pie because Netflix said at the beginning and the end.
I was quite curious about
No.
why they showed the video, but they didn't show the shooting. So I was a bit at a loss as to what to think about it.
There's like
So
consistency
to reference what Dan said before about following the laughter and not the laughter and the rattlesnakes and all that, when I watched it, I was laughing. So I was surprised to see her in the bottom because I thought it was quite witty. Like, do you have? I'm sure you have lots of questions. What is an aura or what? La la la. I thought those were very funny. So I didn't think she would be in the bottom. So yeah, I didn't think she belonged in the bottom. I thought she was good, and I think her look was the only one, along with Crystal's, that did something other than the expectation of a black wedding dress.
I would say totes. Yeah, absolutely. The look was really brilliant, and again, it told you a story. Like, she's that old woman who's just getting ready to get married, scooping around some attic somewhere, and like she's finding her long lost husband, and it's dusty books everywhere, and like the whole thing. Absolutely, I was there for it, and also quite on brand for Sherry. Like, that's her kind of look. Like, she sort of goes a bit dark in that kind of way, whilst also still looking campy and well, camp really. But I thought that for me, the video, maybe they showed it because they wanted to justify where she was. Maybe also, I was thinking while I was watching this episode, they've cut a lot of Sherry out, which means they've put a lot more of the other queens in. So actually quite good for them that they all get a bit more screen time because it's not having to be shared with Sherry. But maybe they had to justify the placements or something. And so they wanted you to see the thing, to see the critiques. Maybe also they've got some feedback from audiences to say, actually, we do want to see a little bit about what you're talking about with Sherry. But I thought there were a couple of jokes there. They took too long to develop, and then the payoff wasn't great. So, meh, but the look was really good.
Yeah, I totally agree with Luke. Like, meh, ad, but look, I really loved the look. I thought the look was really great. But Kurt saying Sherry's runway wasn't a fucking wedding dress. I mean, potentially fair, but also like way rather see that than another wedding dress, to be fair. Suitor, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I quite liked Cherry Pie's commercial, but what I thought was interesting was, in her critique, it was saying this isn't up to your standard because of the way they've edited her. We have no way of knowing how accurate that was, and I find it odd watching Cherry because of I think she's going to place top 4. I haven't checked that, but what's going to happen in that final episode when it's only 3 other people? How are you going to, I think they've been very, I don't know, but this, like, she was fine. Like, her eye makeup was good. It was better than normal, because normally it just makes her look like one of those Japanese paintings. But the dress was Victorian-esque, not wedding dress. I agree with Kurt. And I quite like Kurt's comment saying they only showed a video to fill up the 50-minute screen time. But her commercial was just, I mean,
Yeah, I think it's difficult to. I think you're totally right. It's difficult to know like how well she really did when we only saw as little as we saw with it. Although in a way, it's kind of interesting. So I guess we kind of see what the other judges see who don't get to see the recording of a challenge. So actually, it's kind of a weird position to be in where we're not seeing all the behind the scenes stuff. It's quite interesting in a way. Bob, do you want to go?
Sure. Yeah, I agree with what's been said. I think it wasn't as great as Sherry's kind of could have been, but I do think like it was very on brand in a lot of ways. Like that, yeah, the kind of silliness of like what is an aura? Like it costs $350 per slice. It's like ridiculous. Like that level of like absurd campiness. And I was like, actually, I obviously probably would have enjoyed it if it was another queen, just because, you know, the whole residual Cherry thing. But like I did think, yeah, it took a little while to get off the mark. I don't think it was necessarily like that bad. Like it was like still entertaining. Like it kind of reminded me a little bit like of that kind of absurdity of like when Alaska did hers and she was like, how much does it cost? That's a stupid question. Like the kind of like ridiculously like why, like this very like pompous hyper capitalist kind of thing of it, like, but all kind of sold as a sort of like traditional American cherry pie or aura pie. Is there a pun there? Did I miss something about aura pie? Because I was thinking, like, if you're going to go for like a pie thing, would you not have gone for like a cream pie? Would you? I don't know, like, sort of just workshopping here. Like, there are probably other pie puns to go for.
Sorry, Dan, I tried to unmute you again, but I can't unmute you. Dan, go.
Yeah, it was a bit meh. Like it took a while to get going. I didn't really get it, but I really liked the runway look. I thought it was awesome. It was very Sherry. But to Suitkid's point, like I don't know how they're going to do the final at all at this point, because they can't do a live final. So they're either going to make us wait, or it's going to be like every fucking dreadful TV advert and TV show at the moment, which is going to be like, we're going to do it by Skype. Like, just wait. I just don't want that. But yeah, Sherry's clearly in the top 4 because of the way they're talking about Sherry and the live final and stuff.
Go on. Sorry, go on, Luke. Go on.
Sorry, I've just had a vision of what the the finale is going to be like, and it's going to be like that Andrea Bocelli singing in that cathedral somewhere. It's going to be like on a stage, them all socially isolated, and Rue's going to come up to silence, and she's going to have no expression on her face because there's nothing going on. She's just going to walk forward and start speaking to the queen. If they're just walking down the street or something. Can you imagine?
I'm really hoping they edit that in. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, like, I bet she, yeah, like for Luke's fantasy, she like walks down and in the end she's like, silence. Like, just totally pointless.
She's a big fan of the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Sorry, she's RuPaul is a big fan of the Brady Bunch. She featured in the Brady Bunch movie in the 90s, right? So World of Wonder are already doing like the pit stop and things like that remotely. So I'm thinking that will be how it will be done. But there's an opportunity there. Do it like the Brady Bunch and do like, you know, I don't know. Be creative. It's an opportunity to do something different. Why not?
I'm just kind of having visions of like the really awkward like voiceover that they did for All Stars 4 when they kind of like really like wedged it in at the last. For the first time in Drag Race history, in a thing that's definitely been put in the normal overdub, like it hasn't just been added in post-production. Here are the winners. You know, it was just like I'm worried it will be that, but I think like Rachel was saying, like there are so many opportunities for this to be like a really like camp, spectacular, like wonderfully shite kind of thing for the final. Like I think it could be wonderful, but I mean we'll see. It's probably just at this rate, it's probably just going to go out as a tweet. It's going to be like, yeah, they won.
They should do.
They could even do something fun, like some sort of big what's it called, like a flash mob out in some public square or something at nighttime with some amazing lights, and everyone has little markers that they have to stand on, all 2 meters apart from each other. Or it could even be like something like maybe in a big hall somewhere, like they usually do it, but with mannequins sort of lining all of the seats, except like every 5th seat is a queen. It could be amazing.
I hope they do. Have you seen that thing with James Charles where like he's doing his makeup, he puts a brush and he throws the brush and he goes to another influencer and then they keep tossing the brush around? They should do that with the drag queen crown. So like you've got everyone that's been in the show this season, they got the crown and like they're flinging it, and then the top 4 like fighting via screens. I mean, they can afford to edit it like that.
That's kind of most
also
difficult
have
part,
Monet
right?
Exchange make some sort of special appearance so that everyone can wash themselves wash their hands every time they touch something. The Sponge Queen.
God, I'm all right. But that's the most difficult part, right? So they can't send a camera crew around to film them. So they're gonna have to either rely on their own like filming abilities or send them cameras even. But like, I don't know. I can't really see that working amazingly well. Think of like a number of like cameramen, like production assistants, everything that goes into filming the finale, filming a normal episode. They can't
But yeah,
obviously
way
can't
of
do that
doing
in the
it is
current
asking
situation, even
the
at the
top
Queen's home.
to lip sync to a certain song and do it at home or whatever, and compare the two. I don't know. It could be done. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they could do it, but then look at the quality of this. It's a wreck. Like you don't want to see that. We don't want to see like Omar saying, we don't want to see like a Zoom finale where we're like lip syncing like this. You don't like. We don't want that. We want like good production, like shiny stuff. We want surprise
I
queens.
know, but
Like
the
we want the
production is not
whole
possible at the moment.
country.
And if you watch the ads, like Dan said, they're all done like that. So why not?
That's what I mean. But my point is, we need something. We need something different with it. Like Luke and everyone saying, like this, like take it something completely different. Don't try and recreate the finale, but on Zoom. Do not do that.
I'd quite like them to be on a stage with RuPaul sitting on one extreme end of the stage, and then the queen she's interviewing sitting all the way at the other end of the stage, and perhaps like with some sort of ear, like a megaphone or something, so they can hear each other. Like go to dial it up to 11.
Hey, if Jeffree Star can have like 20,000 people living in his mansion, I'm sure RuPaul can afford to move them all in, get them quarantined in there 2 weeks before filming, and then technically they can all be next to each other.
Or they
They
could
have-
lip sync in one of those big bubble things that you can walk on.
Oh my god!
Like the Dragon Ball Z houses.
Oh my gosh! I mean, Rue does have the amount of land. The only problem is like whether he's fracking on it at that time. You know, just gotta be careful.
Oh,
Choices,
it's not fracking
creativity
for
can be
2
done.
There's no way he's going to stop fracking for one moment now, man. So Omar's saying, so I guess we don't know whether Sherry's made top four, but I guess we're assuming she does at this point. So will a queen replace her if she's in the top four, or do you think they'll just make it a top three? Any thoughts on that?
Just three, I think, because if they filmed it as you are not gonna make the top four, oh la la la, they can't now then go, oh now you are in the top four, so just three.
But this is why they normally film on the final elimination, both of them going through, one of them going through, and the other one going through. So technically, they probably got stock footage where they can be like, we're just going to say they both went through. You know what I mean? Because normally when the fifth queen goes home, they film them also staying. You get me?
Yeah, that makes sense. I wasn't actually aware of that, but it makes sense based on how they used to film the finales as well. But I'm not a fan of the top four generally. Personally, I feel like again, like it doesn't really mean shit, right? I feel like I made top four on season 8 or whatever. It doesn't really mean anything. Like top four is not a thing. When did top four become a thing?
Sasha Velour.
Yeah. Right. So we go. Sorry, we got held up too long now. Should we go on? Who's next? Is it Crystal? Heidi. Right. Horatio, do you want to go?
Yeah, I just loved it, and it was so funny. And I think Michelle said with Crystal, oh, what an 180 story we've had with Crystal. I think the 180 story here is Heidi, because she's lip synced twice, and she's come out on top on this episode. She was fucking hilarious. And yeah, again, she could have crumbled under pressure, but she didn't. She just was very funny. She did take on RuPaul's name, which I think so she could have done the same thing, but not call herself Heidi's Hydration, but she could have called the whole thing Hydration. You know what I mean? Hydration. So borrowing on RuPaul's, but without taking it completely. So yeah, very well done. The look on the runway a bit meh, but yeah, did the job and well deserved win. She might be a Cameron Michaels in the making. She might make it to the top 4. Who knows?
I think
go on.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I think whilst her beat definitely still needs some work, like she's definitely the crunchiest of the queens. I loved, obviously, her ad. I mean, it's all been said. It's all going to be said. Her ad was just fantastic all the way through. I thought her look, like, you do something different with a wedding dress, like you put a great big hard hoop around your shoulders. I kind of wish she hadn't shimmied in it, because I kind of wanted it to all be very stately and very fixed, because it looked I don't know, it looked sculptural. It didn't look like a dress, but in a fantastic way. I absolutely loved it. And actually, I was thinking of hers when we were talking earlier about like what can you really do with a black wedding dress. That's what you can do. I think that's something really special. That's for me anyway. Sorry, love.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, I don't have anything to add. I agree with everything you guys. Well, everything Luke says, I did really like the look as well, personally. But I agree with what Horatio said about the commercial as well. And also, you said here's Horatio said, do you feel like Heidi's the one who's done the 180 as well? I agree. I think both Heidi and Crystal have sort of turned things around, and which is great because they were two of my favorites from the very beginning. So I'm definitely enjoying watching that. Dan, do you want to go? You got to mute yourself. Go on, you can do it.
So Heidi, yeah, it was kind of good because I think everyone really likes Heidi. It's like she's always been really, really endearing from the beginning, but hasn't really ever lived up to it. And this was like perfect challenge for her, and she really just went for it. And I don't give that guy any credit for doing that. Like she would probably have done it anyway without him being like, do more stuff on camera. Her outfit was a bit meh. I didn't really like the runway outfit was dull as. But yeah, the infomercial was great. All right, Grant.
Sorry, I just assumed someone unmute themselves. All right, Suikin, Bob, what are your thoughts? Wait, sorry, only one of you. Suikin, you go first.
I liked Heidi this. I loved her dress. I really like it, the little cutout thing and all the drama up there. But the commercial when she was like whistling through her tuff, and she just basically she was like got every acid she has, pulled it out of the bag, and went boom. Sorry, was that a bit loud? I'm not used to talking on mic. But I really liked Heidi. I thought she was proper good. I really liked how she didn't even plan it all. Because for God's sake, she had all this planned out. And then Rue comes in and she's like, scribble, scribble, scribble. But if I was her, I would have done Heidi's Hydra mask. I would have had like a face mask thing that like made you two-faced but really pretty. Because you know she had the beat mug and I would have had a dig at Gigi about it. And then like I would have had someone else do my makeup and say, see, it works. That's why I thought she was really good, though. I don't know if she should have won.
Bryce to do it. You're saying get someone else to do your makeup, but they can't do that, right? The only person who has to get to do it would be Bryce.
Well, it can't get much worse.
Fair, very fair.
Bryce can't even bring a Merkin in time.
What I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. Because, like, yeah, the amount of times they're like, Bryce, are you there? Bryce, I need a Merkin, right? Okay, just okay. Like, what was he doing? Why is he there? Well, we know
why Bryce is there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with Luke. Shock horror, and Sutukin here. I think the rest of the dress wasn't necessarily for me, but I thought it was really clever to have that kind of added drama and the kind of something very structural to kind of offset it. That like was more fun for me, and it kind of changed the way she was standing a little bit. It kind of made her neck feel a little bit longer in some way, which I thought was quite nice. So yeah, and I mean, yeah, obviously her advert was great. She's just really charming, but really just like went for it. Like she wasn't afraid to be kind of ugly, I guess is the word, or like just be silly. Like a few of the other queens are a bit too much like, oh, I'm gonna do this with my advert, oh, maybe this, and she was like, right, I'm gonna full on cry into this thing, I'm gonna throw myself on the floor and have a tantrum. I was like, what planet are you on? Like I want to live on planet Heidi, or Planet Closet, I guess it would be. It's wonderful. Like she's great.
The little add-ons, I've got 30 cents in my bank account. I mean, how hilarious.
Ooh, from earlier in the year, I couldn't believe she only made $9,000 last year as in total. That shocked me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry, I was going to say something, but I've totally forgotten. So should we move on to, is it, no, that's what I was going to say. Sorry, I remembered. So yeah, exactly what you're saying about like Heidi not being afraid to like make a fool of herself. That's kind of like why I didn't get enough from Jada, I think, because I feel like Jada was still trying to like be very composed and like, I don't know, do you know what I mean? Like she didn't let loose enough with it. And I think that's kind of where I was let down by it, potentially. Suki, do you want to say something? Oh, sorry, I thought you were signaling. Oh, sorry, you didn't mic me. That's what you did. Sorry. So yeah, should we move on to Crystal's? Is that the last one? We missed anyone? Crystal, right?
And Widow.
Yeah,
well.
Widow.
Oh, okay, yeah, Widow. You guys do Widow.
I'm on camera. I feel like, so Widow's thing, what really bugged me about it was like, apart from like the fact she looked a little bit rabbit in headlights, was kind of, she was like foisting this catchphrase on us and then making her brand about that. Like from the first episode, like when she, the first camera bit, she was like, oh, you know, like relax your throat because you're gagging. And then she's kind of like, she hasn't really said that any other time, but they're like, she's very much like, oh, my whole thing is about like, relax your throat, you're gagging. You're like, no, you said that once on like, I mean, maybe she didn't know at that point that, you know, how it would have been edited, but like, I'm like, I don't know. I have a bit of a weird thing when someone's like, this is my brand. You knew this all along, didn't you? You're like, no, Widow, we didn't. That's no, you've just said that. Nobody says that, you know. But it was a missed opportunity because she is very funny and very charming, I think, in some ways. And I think it could have been so much better. Like, I like the base material that she was sort of starting with. Like, you could see she was going for some quite fun jokes of like humanitarian, blah blah blah. And like, and I think that third thing, kind of like the critique that was given to I think it was given to her actually, that you kind of want that final thing to be a really funny, stinging thing. And it was kind of like, you know, you kind of wanted it to be like something really odd. So like humanitarian, dog collector. You know, you needed something a bit weird on it, and instead she was just like, she said something else that was similar to humanitarian. And it was like, okay, great. I just realized a lot of missed opportunities. And I think her makeup was gorgeous, like that face bit, but then like the rest of the dress, I was like, it's just some like slightly sequiny fabric and some like then darker fabric that's not sheen or anything on top of it. So it kind of like gets rid of any of the thing that made you eye-catching. It had quite a nice like tie ribbon bit on the side, but then you couldn't really see it because it was all black on black. So yeah, I don't know.
No, yeah, I agree. Shit, damn it! Why do I keep forgetting what I was going to say? That's really bad. Well, I was going to say what Kurt said about the editing. So yeah, I mean, she could have said it shitloads and just forgot. Oh yeah, sorry, it was just edited out. But if it was edited out, it means it wasn't funny enough to put in, right? Like, especially with the extra time with Sherry not being featured as much. Like, if your catchphrase is like bringing a room down every time, they'd be showing it, right? I bet she's probably just like the Queen's probably like talking about their roles in the chat. She's probably like, why are you gagging so? Like, lubricate your throat. Do you know what I mean? Just like from the corner, like really trying to like everyone. I don't know.
Also, sorry, on a side note, what kind of name is Throte? A
bad one.
I mean, I was just like, okay, great.
I don't know you say that, but this is a very niche reference. But you know, in Zelda Breath of the Wild, there's a character called Grante. He's like literally the same. Yeah. With the same kind of E. Fully came for my gig. Sorry, who's not? So who talking about Widow? Who wants to go next? Luke, go on, go.
Yeah, I think Widow reminds me a lot of Vinegar Strokes in lots of ways. They sort of have a similar look. They're a little bit crunchy. Their ego's a bit overinflated for where it perhaps deserves to be. I don't know. I'm just not picking up what Widow's putting down too much. And there's in all of her interviews, she's very much they don't even know what's coming. It's like, well, when's it coming? We haven't seen it yet. That's kind of what I'd say about Widow. The ad was a bit dull. The look, I can't even remember. Meh.
Yeah, kind of like a Britta as well, right? I was just thinking, kind of in terms of like telling us what she's going to be bringing, not really bringing it. I thought the look was alright, to be honest, but I feel like what I got from it kind of harsh for me to say this, but it kind of like was like an attempt to be creative, like with the makeup and stuff. It was kind of, I don't know, it's a bit too try hard for me. Does that make sense? Is that too horrible?
Yeah, no, I think for me, the makeup was quite intricate. But you're on a stage a long way away from your audience. Like, I need something to pop and I need to be able to see what it is. Like, don't give me something that if I'm using a microscope, it looks amazing, because I can't appreciate it.
Okay, so I'm not gonna justify her performance with this, but because it was just the worst of them all. But I can't help but think that she was set up to fail massively by first on the walkthrough by Rue's comments, but then also this guy again, Bob, he was really not coaching her. Like, she clearly had just forgotten her words. And I do like Widow. I think she is quite funny. So I agree with Bob there. But I think so. Whatever she had memorized or whatever she thought of saying probably was quite funny. But you need a moment or two to. I know that they only have, and they're all under the same pressure. So others fared better. So fair enough. But this guy was kind of putting even more pressure on her. So he wasn't helping her at all. He wasn't. The role. These roles are coaches. They're coaching you to help you do better. And he was doing completely the opposite. He was like, I'm just going to remind you that needs to be your brand and this and this and that, and you better work, bitch. And it's like, oh my God. But yeah, she was deservedly so in the bottom two. And her look was, yeah, it didn't work. I know the makeup was nice, but it didn't pay off.
Cool. Yeah, that's. I mean, like, I agree with what you guys are saying about the makeup, but to me, I don't know, it just seemed a bit like, oh, I'm doing like quirky, cool, like dark wedding makeup. You know, I don't know. It was just, it wasn't like enough for me. Does anyone else have anything you want to add about Widow? So you can do. Have you talked about Widow?
No, not yet. I quite liked Widow's dress because she had like that glittery thing underneath and then the material, but nothing was going to save that performance. I mean, I think she got in her head, and that was Rue's fault more than anyone's, because she was like, "Girl, you not been winning much, have you?" And then she was like, scrambled. Just, I felt Rue did her dirty because nothing in this competition suggested she'd be in the bottom or that this challenge would trip her up. Because I don't know what out, but you know, the only person worse than Widow was Gigi this week.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but definitely
make a
for me is Widow and then Gigi.
My request is just that the only accent I prefer on Sudikan other than Welsh is Rue's accent. So can you make sure that you either speak in one of those two accents the whole time, please, Sudikan? Thank you.
I don't have much choice with the Welsh one, to be honest.
What about Welsh Rue? I'm voting Welsh Rue for the remainder.
Curly girl, it's your proper world. You can
Say inner saboteur, but in your regular accent.
Saboteur. I can't say that word. I got speech impediment as it is. It's your inner saboteur. Hold on, let's see if this
Hey, don't be
helps.
jealous of my boogie.
Chicken dinner, winner, winner. That's not right, is it? Shit.
Oh, honey,
Fully
that's
slightly,
all
yeah.
sorts of right. Absolutely, it is.
Fully that. Right, okay. The one I'm most excited to talk about, Crystal. But you guys go first. So I want to hear your thoughts. Okay, go on, Sukin. I know you just been, but you go first. You seem.
And I love Crystal. She's my favorite, and I'm so happy she did well this week. I loved Crystal, and what I liked about the way they edited her, you're gonna think she's gonna do badly, but she knew exactly what she was doing. And you know, the hammer, when she just like, she knew, she had like I don't know, she must have took some drugs that they clearly must have on that show, and she just zoned in. I know what this is gonna look like. Boom, and just. Oh, I'm like, she was clever. She took on she's more clever than she seems. She's really locked on to what Rue wants from her. And rather than try to do really big, really quick, she's listened to Michelle. She's listened to Rue. And even if I think she'll end up being in top 4. Whether she'll deserve to be there or not, I think she's going to end up there. And her dress, yes. The makeup, like, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to check the comments. Kurt's going to say this was a Dragula ripoff again. But it was amazing, and especially compared to all the mundaneness of everyone else's, because everyone else looked like they picked it up off the rack for the most part and added a few things. That I love the zombie stuff. Can you tell I like Crystal?
Go on, who wants to go next? Put your hand up. Someone, go on, Luke. Go on, go.
Okay. So yeah, I second everything that Sudikan just said. I think that sometimes on this challenge for Drag Race, there's like, I think Alaska did it one time, and maybe Jinx did it once too, and like they have a very clear idea of what they want. They say, okay, you're going to need to be here, and the director's a bit like, what's she got planned? And it all comes together so wonderfully. It's just that they've figured it out so much that they don't kind of even need to really explain what the end product's going to look like. They just know what they need to get from the shoot. And I think that that she was a good example of that this week. I love the look. Oh my God, the look was great. And as you say, not off the rack, but something completely unique. She had lots of dust in it. As Michelle said, like a great way to show off all of her like makeup skills in a completely different way, with the half skeleton face. Wonderful. She told a story. She gave me life, even in death.
Oh, Dan, do you want to go? Dan,
Yes,
you got to
we've
unmute
always
yourself.
been a bit like cynical on Crystal, but she was really good. I thought the commercial was great. It was really fun. Like it actually had a bit of personality for a change. Like Rue didn't mention fucking DeBarge once tonight, which was great. That time, like we didn't get the little sting of music or anything. And like the look was the only one that really made me feel interested in the theme. It was really good. The little differences in the face and like the theatre, it was like a different contestant. So yeah, it was like, oh, like Crystal's found herself, because Grant was like big on Crystal when we did the video weeks ago about our ranking, and I didn't really get it, and I haven't really got it until maybe this episode. Like she's still not a mega favorite, but it was good to kind of see like her be a bit more confident because she felt a bit defeated. So yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed her. Sorry, Dan, did you mute yourself? Yeah, no, I really enjoyed her. I as well, because she's been unsure of herself. She obviously was like super confident in what she was doing with her commercial. Even though the director didn't really know what was going on, she sort of powered through, and it turned out really well. I think after the Madonna thing, where she did like repeating on her track and stuff, I think she's starting to know that like she is funny if she just like can be a bit more confident and trust her vision a little bit with it, because her vision is bonkers, but it works out well. I think that's what Drag Race does right, in my opinion. So like contestants like Adore, for example, like contestants who are just a bit bonkers or jinx, like they tend to be the most entertaining, right? So I think that's why I rate Crystal so high. Is like she's sort of showing that side of her, and if she can sort of harness that a bit more, then I really think she could make it to the top. And her looks as well. So yeah, moving on to look, like her looks have been great recently, last few episodes especially. And I do agree with Kurt. It is pretty Dracula, and like I do think you could say it like references other Queen's dresses specifically, maybe even. Although I do think those dresses from Dracula were a bit generic anyway, to be honest, that she's potentially referencing. But still, compared to everyone else's, like sure, her dress wasn't necessarily the most original dress in the world, but compared to the others, it's still like a mile above everyone else's. So yeah, I think the execution was really cool, and I think the coolest thing about it as well is she just changed. Like I wouldn't have guessed it was Crystal under there. Like she changed her face and everything. Like she just looked like a different person the way she restructured herself with it. So yeah, and yeah, really fun to watch commercial, and the look I thought was really cool as well. So yeah, like 10 out of 10 from me. Ratio?
So I agree with everything that's been said. Her video made me wonder if they take if they have a saying in what goes on in the background, or if it's the shows. I guess they will sit down with the editor and go, can I have this kind of background for this image? Because her backgrounds were actually quite imaginative. It was a mall, but it was a kind of in this 80s sort of feel to it, like old footage. And it was very imaginative. And I think those kind of things count as well to make a good video. It's not just, oh, put a dance floor here. That's very, I think some of these infomercials and some of these videos end up being very boring or not very funny because all the possibilities are not played with. And I think that probably, we don't know this, that the queens themselves sit down with the editors and add these little bits, which I think worked in her favor because she clearly had a very clear vision of what she wanted. I'm not mad. So today's runway was the best by a mile compared to anyone else's, but I'm not crazy about Crystal Meth's looks in general. I think she's a bit Marmot, and she doesn't really do it for me. I've only enjoyed one or two of hers. If you look at last week's Michelle Visage, that looked a lot like the devil that she was wearing in the first couple of episodes. It's the big face, and it's very distracting. I mean, I like it. I appreciate something different, but she doesn't do it for me in a look in the look department. But I'm glad that she did well, and I hope she carries on doing well.
Yeah, I agree with what Horatio is saying. I think that red look last week did make me kind of think a bit like, kind of seen this. But yeah, I for me, hers was my favorite advert. I just think it was really like you said, there were like the references of she had a very clear vision of like, this is a guy is going to be a very 80s or like 90s American Mall. Like I'm wearing a red polo shirt for it. Like it's very like she has that like idea down. Like it's this guy, like this exact guy who you see in like, you know, this certain reference point. And then I also really loved with her makeup. She was like half her normal crystal smile, half like sort of, I think like sort of teeth or like kind of bone kind of thing, which I thought was nice as well. I love, like Luke was saying, all the kind of dust in the wig as well to kind of give it that really like, and even parts of it looked quite burned. Like there were bits on the back that were a little bit closer to her skin tone and like a little bit closer to the original thing of the dress, and they were kind of seared and kind of burnt. I thought it was great. I also just really like, it's just the ridiculous campness of her like hammering a wig. It's like, what am I watching? And this is like incredible of her just sort of being like, yeah, you're like, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. And like the last few episodes for me have just been me absolutely loving like Crystal, just like not necessarily not giving a shit, but really going for it, of like her Madonna being like, fuck it, whatever. And now this kind of like stupid campy commercial, like I love her. Like I'm sold on it. I'm worried for her for some future episodes, but I think she's done well for herself. Even if she went home next week, I think she would come out of this show really having proven herself quite well.
Yeah, you just need one moment in the show, her hammering the hair. I was like, sorry, go on.
Absolutely. I just wanted to add on to Bob's comment with the guy in the mall and how he's blonde and the mullet is brown and it was fine. I just love that moment. Like,
It's the humor of the absurd, and it was very well executed.
You know, adding on to Horatio's point, I'll admit Crystal's fashion isn't the best, but her makeup almost compensates for it. Because whether you like her style or not, her skill and technique, you can't beat it. It's well done.
Yeah, and also, like, I agree. Like last week, like wasn't her best look, but the ice one the week before, again, like a bit Marmitey potentially, but still like an awesome look generally. Like she's definitely got the talent to take it there. So that's everyone, right? So lip sync, judges' comments. Who's like? Do we need to talk about like who's going home? Because everyone's going to say Widow. We've not seen Untucked. I'd be interested to see what happens in Untucked, but like obviously we're going to say Widow. Like, there's nothing to really add about that. Is there? Anyone like you want to say anything?
I would like to add that she didn't roll around the floor like you could expect. So I appreciated that, and that she took a more still approach, which, you know, I don't think is appreciated enough in this show. I think if you roll around the floor, you are more likely to stay, and not every song lends itself to that. So kudos to Widow for not rolling around, and that's probably what lost it to Jam, because she was doing a very super energetic choreography that was more apt for something from Spice Girls or something.
Yeah, and I kind of want to add on, like, part of my fear with the theme of the runway was like, if you're going to have these big bulky dresses, like the song is going to need to be something that ideally you can lip sync to with kind of slow movements or without much movement at all. So I was actually quite surprised when the song kicked in. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a bit lively in parts. But I think, like Horatio said, I think Widow really sold that without having to come out of her dress, well, she did a little mini tearaway, but without having to really change all that much, she kind of just sold it. And I kind of felt it more from her in that sense. Jan was like, it wasn't quite Latrice and Kenya doing Natural Woman. It wasn't like quite that discrepancy, but it was like, I did think it was quite interesting just sort of seeing like Jan was just sort of like
oh my God. Sorry, I have to interrupt. I had forgotten that lip sync, and it just came back to me, and it was so terrible, wasn't it?
It's like, I remember like watching it once, and the YouTube comment was just like, it's basically like watching Latrice and like a really annoying mosquito. And it kind of is, because she would sort of be standing there, and like Kenya would just sort of go running like past her, and then like run the other way. You're like, what's happening? Like, what are you doing? But yeah,
bringing that memory back, Bob. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. But yeah, I think Widow, I really appreciated like her, like she can sell a lip sync. I don't think Jan did a bad job at all. I mean, I'd unfortunately seen a spoiler, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it had been a double Shantae rather. But yeah, it was a bit of an odd one, I thought.
I
thought it'd be
did
a
not
double
have a spoiler,
Shantae.
and when I was watching it, I thought for sure that Widow was staying and that Jan was going, because I think Jan's approach was not I want to stay, so I'm going to do a really good lip sync. It's I want to stay, so I want to shout as loud as I can whilst lip syncing to prove that I really want to stay. Like, you don't get to stay because you want to stay. You get to stay because you deserve to stay. So you have to actually deserve to stay and give us a lip sync for that song. Don't do all your tricks that don't fit. like Arathio and Bob were saying. So I when the lip sync finished, I thought that's it, Jan's going, and it's a shame because I'm a big Jan fan, but I just think she needs to learn a bit of shade along with the light.
I think, sorry, Suki, I was going to quickly say that, like, I think I kind of like made something click with me with what you were saying, Luke. I just think she's not really like connected to the moment at all. It seems throughout the whole competition. I think that's her biggest issue. Like, what she did was good. Like her moves were good. They weren't like sloppy dance moves. They weren't like, who was earlier on in the season where she was just like going for it, like, what are you doing? But like her dance moves were good and everything. They just weren't like they weren't appropriate for like this moment, you know. Like she's like, these moves are good. Like this would be a good thing to do now, but it just wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels to me. Oh, sorry, it feels to me sometimes like she's coming at the show as a Drag Race fan rather than a queen competing. If that makes sense, in the sense that she's almost like, I've studied, I know what works, I'm so ready. And sometimes it feels like she's like kind of just the overachiever in the class who's kind of like, oh, pick me, I know the answer. You're like, no, like that's not what we're looking for.
So she's like you would be on Drag Race, Bob. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. This is probably why I like her so much. And I got crushed by her lot.
She was very much in the She was very much in the competition, though, wasn't she? And like I'm doing what is required in the competition rather than showing what a good drag queen I am.
I want to play devil's advocate because, you know, if Gigi was in the bottom, which she should have been, if Gigi was in the bottom two and got eliminated and Cherry Pie is disqualified, the only person with a win, because I can see Widow going soon, would be Heidi. Is that right? That would have been a pretty cool thing.
And Jada also won the first her first challenge.
Oh, did she? Oh, fair enough. I forgot about that.
In fairness, that was like 14 years ago and pre-quarantine, so like it feels like
pre-quarantine back in my day. But that'd be really interesting because that's never happened. Is the front one, but outside of All Stars, the front runner has never been eliminated, have they? Or have they?
Can I just add to the lip sync? What a good arc for the episode and probably for Widow to get in her head, because I think partly because Chaka Khan was a guest judge and she was a big fan, but also to be saved thanks to the song, because she embodied Chaka Khan very well. So what a bittersweet moment, but what a good outcome in the end for her.
Can we also like check in on Chaka Khan? Like, is she okay? Like,
hilarious.
What was going on there? Because like the first sort of thing, Chaka Khan, it was like literally there had just been an explanation of what a merkin was in the advert, and then she's like, I don't really know what a merkin is. I'm like, okay, great, thanks, Chaka. And then she was just a sort of a bit like, I don't know. I mean, in fairness, I don't know what she's normally like, but you know, she's meant to be this sort of like big character. And then like, I love that for a few things, she's like, oh, I'm gonna like them. It's gonna cool. And you're like, okay, great, thanks for your input, Chaka. Let's go to the other judge. Like, you know, it was just very strange.
Oh no, sorry. Go on, Sukin.
Oh,
we can't hear you, Sudikin.
Can you hear me? Chaka Khan's thing was like, you know, Aiden's Snatch Game. I don't know why I'm here. It really did. It seemed like the actual thing Aiden was trying to portray.
Which also actually reminds me of another funny moment in the show where they're all trying to rip each other off. And was it Jada who was going to be Aiden? And she just stood still and silently. Do you remember?
I'll be Aiden.
Yeah, that was good. I should say what Omar said as well. Omar made a good point in the comments. What's her name? Jam. Yeah, Jam was like a more advanced Sasha Bell. She studied, but it wasn't enough. I thought that was good. That was a good point.
Shade.
Yeah, but fair shade. So anything else anyone else wants to add about like the lip sync or the end of the episode? Put your hand up.
Should have been there.
Okay, all right. Anything that's not been said yet? No, we all good? Okay, should we whip out our CUNTs, or do you think we don't need to? It's not. Is it appropriate for quarantine times?
What is?
Like, I see you in things. Luke.
My C is going to Crystal.
So who? What is C?
My C is going to Crystal.
Okay, cool. yeah. That was the best part of the whole episode. Horatio?
What is this? Sorry, I'm a bit lost.
Chris Miyuki's Nerve and Talent. Come on.
Oh God, really?
Indeed.
Oh, come on. We haven't done this for a long time.
I'm with Horatio.
Okay.
We go for an hour and a half.
Charisma. Oh my
okay,
God,
fair.
really?
We've been going for an hour and a half.
Look, I just like Heidi at this point. All of them.
We're going to get these
Okay.
and
Right.
4 things.
Okay, never mind, everyone. But we do it do it in the comments if you want, and then we'll decide there who gets the CUNTs. Cool. So no one's got anything else to add about the episode. Anything else? Should we move on to like recommendations and stuff?
Recommendations to go out. Really?
Oh God. Oh God.
My only recommendation is Fiona Apple's new album. I realize this is a niche pick, but like I adore Fiona Apple anyway, and her new album is just like wonderfully batshit, and I am in love with it. And it like massively, I was in a bit of a funk yesterday. Like went for a run listening to Fiona Apple's new album today, and it like cured me. Well, not cured me, but like it was what I needed. Although I also realized that it now sounds like I'm kind of doing my own version of like Squatty Potty of like Fiona Apple's new album. What's that? This album? Yeah. But yeah, it's great.
Well, my recommendation
Dan?
is my Droop project.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Pikachu wallet. You opened it up, and there's secretly a camera, so you can perv on everybody. My Droop Pikachu wallet.
But also, who are you perving on if you're in quarantine? You're literally just perving on yourself, which I respect.
It's a Droop advert. It doesn't have to be. There was a genie.
Just like
There was a genie in one of these adverts.
Someone going for like their third run of the day, you can like subtly like slide on over.
Pikachu. No, people are going to see you have a Pokemon wallet and turn away because they don't want to look at you. They're not going to notice.
Sudakin, have you watched the new Digimon reboot?
Watched it?
Yeah.
Yes, so
Is
far.
it good?
I'm on
Is it
episode
good?
1 though.
Where do you watch
I
it?
like. I haven't made up my mind yet because if it's going to end up being the Ty and Matt show, I'm not into it. Now, if Mimi and Sora get some proper screen time,
Okay,
yes,
but
I'd be
where are
into
you
it.
watching it?
But they proper rebooting it. I'm not sure I feel. Am I frozen?
You
Yeah,
did freeze
yeah,
for a second, yeah.
Do you hear any of my reply then?
Guys, I'm going to love you all and leave you because I haven't had dinner yet and I'm starving. My stomach's
Oh,
about to implode.
all
Oh,
right.
sorry.
Bye.
But I love you all and thank you so much for
Okay, take
including
care,
me
Luke.
in the.
Love
No.
you.
Bye.
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 See you later. Thanks for agreeing with everything I say.
Bye
Bob.
bye.
It's my pleasure and my
Thank you.
Right. So, Sudakin, where can I watch Digimon?
Where did I watch it? Can I be honest? I
Let's
just
try
Google
popcorn
it and
time.
click on every link till something sticks.
Let me see if some
Okay.
popcorn time. That's what I was thinking.
What,
Also,
which one?
I shouldn't have said it on stream.
Oh,
I'll tell you about it off stream. Don't worry about it. Forget I said that anymore.
okay, yeah.
But yeah,
please
I
tell
wanted
me
to watch
if I'd like to watch it.
Sorry?
Yeah, please let me know because I would like. I was a big Digimon fan back in the day.
Yeah, I'm
love
excited to watch it as
Digimon.
well. I rewatched the movies again, like relatively recently, so I have really great memories of them. I saw them in the cinema and everything, but they weren't as good as I remembered them. But I've got high hopes for the new season. So also, I started
I
the
quite
Digimon game
like
on
the
PS4.
reboot. It's interesting. The way they've gone about it's really strange because it's almost like they're doing Digimon the first season through the. Have you seen Digimon Tamers with Renamon, Gillimon, and that? It's
I
giving off that vibe with the season 1 cast.
okay.
I heard a good thing about that season. Though. Do you know Billiam on YouTube?
Pardon?
So do you know Billiam on YouTube?
Billiam.
Yeah, he does like loads of Digimon videos and that. Yeah, he talks a lot about that season, so it's a good season. Sorry, anyway, this is like a really niche conversation. We should have this conversation not on stream, right? Dan, is there anything?
Oh, sorry. I was thinking, can I just
Change
say,
my
like, I
name to
thought Dan-
Tangent.
quick appreciation for Grant's outfit? Like, I really like what you've done with it. You look good, man.
Bob, this isn't the time or place. I'm so sorry. It's a phone message off stream. Dan, I feel bad for Dan. Dan, you're not said anything for a little bit. Is there anything you want to say? Your audience is watching.
I've lost my energy. I'm a bit. No, like I'm really struggling to find the thing on Netflix that is going to keep me entertained. So I binged the whole series of Dark Tourist last Tuesday, which was pretty good. It's a journalist who's a bit like Louis Theroux, but he's from New Zealand. That's basically the only difference. Who does like tours of dark places to go and see around the world, which was really good. That was good. Kind of kept me going. Go for it.
Thank you. I just want to say, like, I really tried, like, very selfish. Was it the tsunami? Yeah. I tried to go to the island in Japan, the abandoned island town thing. That was like the coolest place, right? I always went there. But there was a tsunami.
Yeah.
Yeah, when there's a tsunami, I couldn't go. I thought that was very out of order.
Oh, rude. Well, sorry.
Yeah, right? But Dan, if you haven't seen it, it's not on Netflix.
Tsunami manners.
Dan, if you haven't seen it, watch Sharp Objects. That's gonna be my recommendation as well. Actually,
right.
You'd really like it. It's not on Netflix, but it's really good.
I've read the book. I think it's on Sky, so I'll have a look.
Cool, definitely watch it. It's great. It's Amy Adams. Everyone loves her, right? Go for it. So, Horatio, do you have a recommendation? You've done yours already?
Well, stuff I'm watching is kind of old news, really. So I'm watching Killing Eve from the start, like not the current or the new season. So, and I'm watching something called Mindhunter on Netflix, which is good, but it's very slow burn. I'm not entirely sold on it, so I can't really recommend it. The other thing that I did watch, and I'm not sure I can recommend. So even bigger than a Digimon fan, I was a Saint Seiya fan back in the day when I was very little. And they have made this reboot again as well of it, but it's very shiny. It's completely not like manga. I don't know. Is it American? It's by it's by the same studio. That it is Japanese, but it looks very computer, and it doesn't look like the original at all. But then they sort of cover the first couple of original seasons in 12 episodes. And so it's very, very condensed and nothing at all like what I remember. So, but on the other side, the sort of biggest point of debate amongst the fandom is the fact that one of them has been rebooted as a woman. Yeah. So this character, Sean, was originally a very camp man. And it's part of the Bob, you might be able to help me here with the type of manga that does very androgynous sort of character. So he's one of those, or he was one of those in the original manga and in the original anime. But now they've decided that the group wasn't inclusive enough, and they turned him into a woman, and they've enraged fans in so doing. And to be honest, I'm not so mad about that, but I'm mad at the reboot itself. It just doesn't feel like what I used to love. And even though I watched the whole of it, and there's another season coming, I think, because they haven't got to the gold nights yet. But it's not a recommendation, but it's what I've been watching.
I don't think Saint Seiya was very big over here. I don't know if it's big in America either.
It was
more
huge
bigger
in Spain and France. So
yes, it was really big in the rest of Europe, but it was never really big in the UK. I don't think America either. But it sounds very much like a Sailor Moon's cousin situation with that character, or like all of Sailor Moon, to be honest. Which is weird. It's weird. Like in 2020, they're still doing that. But cool. Anyway, should we wrap up the stream then? We all good?
No real recommendation though. I would say Castlevania.
Oh, is it any good? The anime
Netflix.
series.
Yeah, Castlevania. The third season is crazy intense and dark, and I'm loving it.
Cool.
I couldn't it's one of the few shows I've ever seen that gets better with every season. You know, they normally decline a bit. It's like the first season was okay, the second season was good, and then the third season, though it is somewhat a slow burn, is amazing.
Can you start on the third season, though? Do you have to watch the first two to make the third season make sense?
I'd say you have to watch the first two, but considering the first season's only 3 episodes, it's they're not long.
Oh, okay.
and it's quality animation. It's really good. I'd say it's worth a watch if you like anime and stuff.
What is it called again?
Castlevania.
Castlevania. It's based off the Capcom game, but they've made it a proper medieval thing, and the
what is it?
animation and art style is beautiful.
Netflix.
Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank
It's
you.
on my list. I'll check it out. It sounds good. Right. Okay. Cool.
I'm
Right.
gonna go. I need to pee. I've been holding him. The reason I've been shaking is because I needed to pee for the last 40 minutes.
Okay, come on, let's do it, kid. Okay, stop speaking. We can end the stream then. Cool, right. Cheers everyone for joining. Love you guys. Thanks for doing the stream. Continue conversation down in the comments. And yeah, we'll see you again next week.
Super.
Cool.
We love you.